Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by for Qudian Inc's third quarter 2020 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. After management's prepared remarks, there will be a question-and-answer session. Today's conference call is being recorded. I would now like to turn the call over to our host from Qudian. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Qudian's third quarter 2020 earnings conference call. The company's results were issued via Newswire services earlier today and were posted online. You can download the earnings press release and sign up for the company's distribution list by visiting our website at ir.qudian.com. Mr. Ming Luo, our founder, chairman, and chief executive officer, and Ms. Sisi Zhu, our VP of Investor Relations, will start the call with their prepared remarks. Before we continue, please note that today's discussion will contain forward-looking statements made under the Safe Harbor provisions of the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties. As such, the company's results may be materially different from the views expressed today. Further information regarding these and other risks and uncertainties is included in the company's 20-F as filed with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The company does not assume any obligation to update any forward-looking statements except as required under applicable law. Please also note that Qudian's earnings press release and this conference call include discussion of unaudited GAAP financial information as well as unaudited non-GAAP financial measures. Qudian's press release contains a reconciliation of the unaudited non-GAAP measures to the unaudited most directly comparable GAAP measures. We also posted a slide presentation on our IR website providing details on our results in the quarter. We will reference those results in our prepared remarks, but will not refer to specific slides during our discussion. I will now turn the call over to our CEO, Ming Luo. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I would like to thank you all for joining today's call. In the third quarter, amid an evolving regulatory environment, we maintained prudent operations with regards to our cash credit business while still generating RMB 5 billion transactions in our loan book business, which was in line with our expectations. In this quarter, we are delighted to see meaningful improvement across our delinquency rates compared to the first half of this year. Stringent credit approval standards boosted our ability to navigate the ever-changing operating environment in the online lending landscape. The recent draft to seek public opinions for interim measures for the administration of online small credit business may potentially heighten the industry's near-term volatility. However, we do not expect the proposed regulations for online small credit business to affect our business, and we do not authorize small credit companies to extend loans. We will continue to closely monitor the regulatory development in our industry. Besides the credit loans business, we continue to invest in and make steady progress in new initiatives while further exploring growth opportunities. Early childhood education is an exciting new area for us, and we look forward to updating you with our progress in the coming quarters. Now, I would like to turn the call over to Sisi for more details on our results.
Thank you, Ming, and good morning and good evening, everyone. In this quarter, we're encouraged to see a significant improvement in our profitability on a sequential basis. Notably, our net income increased by approximately 231% quarter-over-quarter to 592 million RMB. This is a great indicator of our ability to overcome challenges and deliver long-term value to our stakeholders. In light of fluctuating market conditions and ongoing regulatory developments, we have been executing a cautious and conservative strategy in our loan business by performing rigorous credit assessment on our platform. As a result, our efforts to improve credit quality drove an improvement in our credit performance, evidenced by a decrease in the day one delinquency rate. Our overall day one delinquency rate reduced to approximately 17% by the end of September from around 20% by the end of June, which further decreased to 13% by the end of November 2020. We also continued pursuing potential growth channels outside the cash credit business, backed by our robust onshore RMB liquidity position. We are optimistic about the long-term growth prospects of our new initiative related to providing early childhood education services, and we'll be happy to share more details when we have concrete progress. We are keeping a close watch on other factors that may impact our business, including the evolving regulatory regime for online cash credit business. Meanwhile, we've been actively adapting to the rapidly changing environment and are confident that our strong fundamentals will help us pursue and sustain long-term growth. Now, let me share with you some key financial results. In the interest of time, I will not go over them line by line. For a more detailed discussion of our third quarter 2020 results, please refer to our earnings press release. So, our total revenues were 849 million RMB, representing a decrease of 67% from RMB 2.6 billion for the third quarter of 2019. Our financing income totaled 487 million RMB, representing a decrease of 39% from 798 million RMB for the third quarter of 2019, as a result of a decrease in average on-balance sheet loan balance. Loan facilitation income and other related income decreased by 70% to 177 million RMB from 583 million RMB for the third quarter of 2019, as a result of the reduction of transaction volume of off-balance sheet loans during this quarter, partially offset by reclassification of guarantee income in accordance with ASC 326. Transaction services fee and other related income decreased to 6.6 million RMB from 993 million RMB for the third quarter of 2019, mainly as a result of a substantial decrease in the transaction amounts of open platform. Our sales income increased to 139 million RMB from 135.5 million RMB for the third quarter of 2019, mainly due to the launch of the Wanlimu e-commerce platform, partially offset by the reduced sales income from the Dabai Auto business. Total operating costs and expenses decreased by 93% to 100 million RMB from 1.4 billion RMB for the third quarter of 2019. Provisions for receivables and other assets decreased by 87% to 90 million RMB from 691 million RMB for the third quarter of 2019. The decrease was primarily due to a decrease in past due on balance sheet outstanding principal receivables compared to the third quarter of 2019. Net income attributable to Qudian's shareholders was 592 million RMB, or 2.22 RMB per diluted ADS. Our non-GAAP net income attributable to Qudian's shareholders was 576 million RMB, or 2.16 RMB per diluted ADS. With that, I will conclude my prepared remarks. We will now open the call to questions. Operator, please continue.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you wish to ask a question now, please press star one on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press the pound or hash key. For the benefit of all participants on today's call, if you wish to ask your question to the management in Chinese, please immediately repeat your question in English. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask a question now, please press star one. Our first question comes from the line of Jackie Zhou from China Renaissance. Please ask your question.
各位管理层晚上好，感谢给我提问的机会。那我这边有几个问题想请教一下，一个就是关于监管这边，因为我们目前其实利用这个资本金去放贷的这个规模还是不小的。那就是刚才可能管理层也讲到，就这个小贷新规嘛，那我不知道目前我们这个类似于这种这个自用资金的放贷这种模式之后，会不会受到这个监管的一些影响吧？然后第二个问题是关于咱们的这个季度其实放款量还是在回升嘛，那想问一下这个新增借款人这一块，我们目前有没有一些动作？不知道这个季度这个新增的这个借款人的这个数字能不能分享一下？然后最后一个问题就是刚才也讲到我们有一些新业务的动作，就关于早教这块能不能也跟我们分享一下接下来的一些这个具体的业务，包括我们的这个投入。So I will translate my questions. So thanks for taking my question. I have a couple of questions to ask. Number one is about the regulation. I understand a majority of our current lending is using our own capital, and management just mentioned the new online micro lending document. So just want to understand whether this document will affect our current lending model. Second question is about our new loans and new borrowers. I observed that we actually saw a recovery of loan origination in the third quarter. So can management share some color regarding new acquisition, new borrower acquisition, and the new borrowers number in the third quarter? And lastly is about our new business in the early child education. So any color will be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie, for all the questions. I'll address them one by one. So as you know, we're not using the microcredit license for our loan disbursement. Instead, we're using trust structures, and all the funding is from our own equity. So up to now, we don't have any. We haven't noted any regulations regarding this kind of trust structure loan disbursement yet. But as you know, the regulatory environment is ever changing. It's fast changing in China. We will pay a close look on the regulation changes, and if anything changes, we will adapt very fast. Your second question regarding the new borrowers, actually, our approval rates for the new borrowers is close to zero in this quarter, same as last quarter. So the number of new borrowers is very minimal. Your third question regarding our new business initiative is actually still in a very early stage. the business is about the consolidated offline early childhood education centers. We will give the investors, society more colors when we have a more concrete business there. Thank you. Thank you, Jackie, for all the questions.
Thank you, Cici. Very helpful.
As a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone. Our next question comes from the line of Sanjay Jain from Elite Capital. Please ask your question.
Hi. Thank you for the presentation. Just a couple of questions. The first one is, can you give us some idea about your growth plan on the lending side in the fourth quarter and next year? I know the regulatory landscape is evolving, but your lending seems to have turned the tide. So if you can give us some idea of how the loan book overall, the origination and the balance could grow. And the second question is on OneLimo. The sales of about $20 million in the third quarter seems to be very small for a business that in theory should be doing well. E-commerce is booming. And due to COVID, people are probably ordering more stuff online. So are you happy with the progress of OneLimo so far? And when do you think, or in what kind of levels or scale or conditions will you be able to share the economics of that business? Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. I'll address your questions one by one. So first of all, as you know, the industry landscape is ever changing. So before things get crystallized, we'd like to still keep our status quo. So the loan volume in the fourth quarter will be very similar to the level in the third quarter. We don't have the visibility for next year yet. So sorry, but I can't answer your question about looking into next year. Your same question about our luxury e-commerce platform. We didn't spend much money on the promotional spending and the subsidies on this luxury platform. So that's why you may notice that the sales income from the OneLimo platform isn't as much as the previous quarter. Before we see a very strong demand on and repeated purchase on this platform, we will keep a small scale of operation for the luxury business. Hope this answers the question.
Okay, thanks. One follow-up on the lending side. For the first quarter, second quarter, you were saying you are not sure of the asset quality trends, you are not sure of the demand, and now, of course, there is a regulatory uncertainty as well. But at least from the asset quality side, looks like things have clearly improved. So why are you not getting more confident about growth, at least the on-balance sheet side? And do you intend to restart open platform or some other model once you feel more confident? So and that you are still going to be present in the lending business for next year.
Sure. Actually, we do see quite a number of statements from the regulators recently. Most of them doesn't have any impact on our current business. But as we can see from the statements, the tone from the regulator is kind of more towards the tightening side for this online cash credit business. But we are not sure either. So for now, we just stay where we are. The loan volume for the fourth quarter will be very similar to the previous one, although we see a good improvement in our asset quality. We do not rule out the possibility that we may restart growth again, But right now, when regulators are still in this changing status, we just hope to keep our status quo.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Your next question comes from the line of Stephen Chen from Haitong International. Please ask your question.
管理层晚上好，主要有2个问题，第一个就是想请教一下，就是关于现在咱们新做的贷款的IRR 是不是还是维持在30%以上，或者已经跟监管说的就是走到 APR 15.4或者 IRR 是27或者低于27，未来如果真的在做这个新增的贷款的话，未来的那个 IRR 会不会会觉得往下走？因为其他的同行其实也在减他们的贷款的利率，这个是第一个问题。第二个问题就是假设我们4季度新做的那些贷款，或者你刚才说了可能跟3季度差不多，如果全部都使用这个信托的方法来做的话，我想问一下，会不会代表了4季度咱们在咱们的担保的收入，就是 guarantee income 那块，还有就是我们2季度、3季度看到的这个拨备的回拨，都会差不多归零。那就是说剩下来的就只有一个 financing income 或者就是它的 provision for receivable。我就想请教一下，主要是那2个问题。I'll translate into English. First of all, I'd like to ask what is the latest lending rate of your new loans? Have you lowered it to below 30%, as most of your peers has already cut their lending rate of their new originations in Q3? What will be the outlook of your lending rate in the coming quarters? That's the first one. And second question is, in case your loan growth in Q4 or loan volume in Q4 mainly related to the on-balance sheet own equity business, so will that imply that for the line of the loan facilitation income and other related income, especially related to guarantee income, and the line related to changes in guarantee liabilities and risk assurance liability, which is related to some write-back in provisions, will move towards zero in final quarter? Thanks.
Thank you, Stephen. So regarding your first question, we didn't change our pricing policy yet. So it's still less than 36%. And for your second question regarding the off-balance sheet guarantee income and changes in gain of guarantee liabilities, the answer is no, it's not going to be totally exactly zero, because as you know, the off-balance sheet regarding the off-balance sheet loans, we book a portion of initial revenue, and the others will be released into our revenue line later as the guarantee income. Because as we see better than expected delinquency trend, the changes in gain and the losses of guarantee liability might be again in the next in the fourth quarter if the trend continues.
Thanks, Sisi. But my question is that based on my rough estimation, the off-balance sheet guarantee business, the remaining amount is just maybe around 0.4, maybe around 400 million or 400 billion. So, and your average tenor talking about just around 4 months. So even if the two lines may not be zero, but it will that be continue to decline very minimal? And do you expect further write back in provisions?
It's very possible. As we can see, the D1 delinquency continues to reduce up to now.
Thanks.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone. Thank you. As there are no further questions, I would like to turn the call back to the company for closing remarks.
Thank you everyone once again for joining us today. If you have further questions, please feel free to contact Qudian's Investor Relations team. Thank you.
Thank you. This concludes the conference call. You may now disconnect your line.